Pat Mannix from Paris Financial here, the Small Business Tax Champions. I wanted to talk to you about how you're going to set up your small business once we're through this JobKeeper program, which is happening at the moment in mid-May 2020. So you've got to get yourself ready, and rarely in small business do you need to be number one, strategic, and number two, have a very solid cash flow plan for 12 to 18 months. Usually in small business, you know exactly what you're doing from a strategic perspective, and you just have to put in the operational things into your business, and usually projected cash flows and budgeting are not too necessary for a small business. However, in this environment, post the coronavirus, and we're still in it at the moment, you need to be strategic and make very, very solid decisions, because the next 12 or 18 months are vital for small business. Now, you'll know your industry and how the post-virus world is going to affect you. However, I wanted to talk to you about the general economy and how it's going to look, and how you need to be really decisive in small business. Hopefully at the moment you're pretty defensive at the moment. You've got a little bit of cash put aside, and most are going to be on JobKeeper. I think there's 6 million Australians at the moment on JobKeeper, and I haven't been on your screens for a while either, because myself and my tax partners at Paris Financial have been smashed by our small business clients getting onto JobKeeper, asking us questions, etc. So we've seen across a broad range of industries in small business that the economy is getting bashed around a bit. However, we are in an unreal world at the moment with the JobKeeper payments. So I want to go through a couple of things here which are going to affect the real economy, which starts again, we think, in October 2020. It may start earlier, the real economy, if the things really pick up over the next month or so. So these things are a key to the real economy for you in October 2020. First of all, 7% of Australian GDP is exports to China. Now we've got some beautiful Chinese people who work with us at Paris Financial, but the Communist Party running China are not very nice people. And if you really want to get my views on it, you can look at Mick Malthouse, his ideas on it, and a bloke in America called Kyle Bass. I think the Australian government are doing the right thing, really taking it up to the Communist Party in China, and we're going to get hit in the general economy. It's already happening, but it's going to hit even more with our exports to China. The other thing is, once we get out of this JobKeeper program and into the real economy in October, the unemployment rate is going to rise. So I think it's gone to about 6% at the moment, because there's 6 million people on JobKeeper. When the real economy starts again in October, the unemployment rate will be, I predict, 10 to 15%, and that's going to buffet small business. It's going to hit you. So be strategic and get prepared for that when it hits in October. JobKeeper is just a name. They are throwing money into the economy, the government, and it is an absolutely brilliant program. So obviously they're linking people who are employees of organisations and trying to keep them to their employers. However, the main reason of the money going into JobKeeper is to keep the economy going through this period of people in isolation. They're trying to keep the share market up. They're trying to keep the property market up. They're trying to get the economy ticking along by basically putting money into the economy. And the way they do that is just printing bonds for themselves, and it's supported by the Americans. So it's billions of dollars, as you know, but all it's doing is keeping the economy up at the moment. The real stuff starts October 2020, and the unemployment rate is going to really rise, and we're in for tougher times for at least 12, 18 months, 2 years. So be ready for it and plan for it. These industries, unfortunately, are really copping it now, but they will continue to cop it, the worst of all the industries, very generally speaking, over the next 12 to 18 months. because of social distancing and because we can't fly in the planes, etc., entertainment, hospitality and travel, especially airline travel, obviously, are going to be hit really hard. So there's pockets that are going to do okay, but if they can't find a vaccine for quite a while, it's going to hit the general economy as well. So those industries, very, very tough. And the other thing, the fourth thing, which is going to hit the general economy on October 2020 is when people come out of JobKeeper, employers come out of JobKeeper, people have to get back to paying their loans, mainly to the big four banks who've been great with allowing us all to defer. But once we get to October, those loans have to be repaid again. So these four things here are going to affect the general economy as we come out of JobKeeper in October 2020. Get your small business ready. Get it ready, get it running on a shoestring as best you can. Stick to your core operations and you can give your best chance of getting through. There are some small businesses who may be in a tougher financial situation now. You've got to look at your business right now and understand that you're coming in to a period where there's going to be a drop in the economy of probably 5 to 10% with GDP, and then probably 10 to 15% unemployment. So if you're in trouble at the moment and you've got some loans, look very closely at your situation. And in fact, at Paris Financial, we've spoken to a couple of clients and have had to speak to them really strongly about their financial situation and say, look, do you really want to come back into this economy and for the next 3 to 5 years work so hard to pay off existing debts and trying to get through? And we have said to them, look, your time's probably up. And that's been a hugely emotional decision. And I'm sure I'm not the only tax advisor and business advisor having those tough conversations with people. This is where we're heading, folks. It's a false economy at the moment with JobKeeper. Get your ducks in order. Make sure you're right. Do a projected cash flow of what's going to happen to your business. And good luck when we come out of this. Catch ya.